Okay, tonight, game 3 in Miami. The question is, do the Celtics still have a good chance to win this series? TD, answer it.
I don't think so. I would say no. I mean, it's 2-love, and they lost both at home. And the reason why I don't think they have a good chance to win it, and I think the overlying sort of cloud around the Celtics is that they're just having an identity crisis. I think that's what you got to pinpoint because everyone would say they have the better roster. Everyone. They dominated the regular season. The Heat didn't do anything. They made the finals last year. Jalen Brown, Tatum. Everyone would say they have the more talented roster. So, and I just think it really comes down to it's an identity crisis with the Celtics. I think it didn't seem like a big deal that when Udoka left, because remember they started the season so well. They came out firing in the gates. But I think now we see what a big deal it was that he left because he was kind of the alpha on that team. He was, he ruled with an iron fist. And I think with him gone, it's sort of exposing some of the cracks in the leadership. Like the whole Tatum Brown, is Tatum the man? Is Brown the man? Who gets the ball at the end of the game? Missoula just doesn't have an imposing, he's not an imposing figure on the sidelines. He's getting killed in the media. And I think all that is sort of it's a mental thing with the Celtics. And I think you couple that with the Heat culture, they know exactly who they are. They know exactly what they're all about. And I think that's the difference.
I agree with everything you're saying, but I still think the Celtics have a chance because of the reason you said. They still are the better team. If you look at their team, you look at the rosters, you look at what they've done this year, the Celtics are still the better team. And if you look at last game, the Celtics went up 10, at least 10 in the second quarter. I thought, all
Yeah.
right, they're going to go on 1-1 back to Miami. They went up again 10 in the third. And you thought, okay, third quarter at home, they're going to go away. But they didn't knock the Heat out. The Heat
Yeah, no, it
hung
streets
around.
up. In every game they've lost this postseason, they've had a huge lead that
Yep.
they blew.
I agree. It's a
It's
big issue.
unbelievable. But no, it's true. It's proof that they're better. But the fact that they always lose the leads.
I agree. And you're right about saying they have Missoula has he's not controlling that team. He's not that leader like Adoka. And at the end of games, you just saw Miami. They knew what to do. You just watching, you felt Miami's going to win this game in the last 5 minutes. You just felt it. And the Celtics are supposed to be the favorites. A few things, in my opinion, going in. Here's one thing. Everything you said is right. Their intensity, especially on defense, has not been there with Missoula all year, to be honest, all year. And Tatum, although he had that great game 6, those 2 threes against the Sixers saved their season. And then he dominated game 7. What was it, 51 points? What I think is really hurt, and I felt this because they were big favorites against a tough Miami team at home. To me, they look tight when they're playing. Al
Yeah.
Horford's a great shooter. He is a great shooter. He looks so tight shooting those threes. I think now that Miami's sort of favorite now. They're up 2-0. They're going home. They're they're supposed to win now. If they blow
Oh,
this
for
series,
sure. Oh, it's
exactly.
up now. It's up now. I think Miami are the favorite.
I agree. But to me that plays for the Celtics because the Celtics, if you think about Horford,
It's
you
very interesting.
you
Very
yeah,
interesting. It's a good take. That's a
yeah.
good take.
You think about White, you think about Brogdon, they're going to be letting loose. And the chances, because they're such a deep team, the
You're
chances
saying the pressure. You're saying the pressure is off now.
the pressure's off now. And that
That's
helps
a
when
good
you're hitting
point.
threes.
That's a good point.
And the pressure is on
You
Miami. And
and you
it's
can
on
argue
Miami.
pressure is why they haven't been playing well too.
It's part of the reason. It's part of the reason, especially late in the games. And now the pressure's gone to Miami. So I think that's something the Celtics really have in their favor. And another
That's a
thing,
good point. That's a
and
good point.
yep, and another thing they have, the Heat. If you watch that game, they never figured out the high pick and roll with Robert Williams. That was picking the Heat apart, obviously. But then the thing was, at the end of the game, it doesn't matter. It's tight. It's 5-minute basketball. The whole Deron Williams Butler thing, and the Heat took over. But I think there are, and you saw that they went up 10 twice, and you get a couple, all they need is one or two guys. Horford has remember last year in the finals, Horford won them a game.
Oh,
White,
it's tough. If he goes 0 for 7, the Celtics can't win.
but he's also capable of going 7 for 10.
No, no, exactly.
Or White could go off for 25, 30 points. Tatum could have a big game. Jaylen Brown. My point is they could easily, now that the Heat are the favorite, they win a game and all of a sudden they feel like
No, it's
we're gonna prove the role. We're gonna prove
it's 100%. Remember the Heat Mavs. All
exactly.
it takes is one thing to
Yep.
switch a series,
Yep.
and even Golden State Cavs when LeBron came back and won.
Yep.
It's true.
That's
And
why I don't.
the littlest thing can change. And at the end of the day, the Heat are relying on the three ball from undrafted players.
Yep.
Never underestimate the depths
Agree.
of a well a 3-point shooter can fall in if
Yep.
he's off.
Yeah, I agree. So I think there's and especially when the pressure's on, when you're back, you're expected to make them. So in my opinion, yes, it's a crisis time for the Celtics being big favorites. Missoula's job, Tatum's reputation as a closer, all that is true. But by no means, in my opinion, are they done, or is this series close to being over? Uh, I would not be surprised if the Celtics came out today, hit a bunch of threes, and won the game. I would not be surprised.
Then all of a sudden we got a series.
Yeah, and all of a sudden the Heat really feel the pressure. But so to me, this is just, I know the headlines is with the West, but to me, this is a fascinating series because,
Well, you know why I think it's so everyone is so, down on the Celtics? It's because those two games were lost at home. If they were lost on the road, we'd be saying, it's business as usual.
but I think people are also down on the Celtics because everyone sees the talent on this team. The talent is mind-boggling. You really think about it. They have the sixth man of the year in Brogdon. White is more than a capable bench player. You got two scorers who are over 25 a game in Jaylen Brown and Tatum. Marcus Smart's the defensive player of the year. So they got size with Williams. They're a loaded team. They've got experience. They went to the finals last year. And the fact that everyone just sees that it's just mentality that's holding them back, that they just
I
don't.
agree. I agree. And we even
And
saw Smart. Smart was dropping assists in that game one that I've never seen before.
in the first half, I think the second half he cooled off.
Still though, I never saw that side of him.
No, he's their point guard. He's a good player. He's a very good player. They're all good players. If you remember the Nets series, how they dominated the KD Nets last year under Udoka, they were a monster team. They're a great team, but they have this weakness in them that this Heat are exposing. But
It really is fascinating to watch.
yeah,
It is.
it's fascinating because the Heat are the opposite. They don't have the talent.
So
They're
true.
relying on these 3-point shooters that are undrafted. They've got a 1-2 punch of Butler and and Bam Adebayo, but
they know exactly what they
yeah,
are.
it's
They know
exactly at the end of the game.
exactly
It's
what they
unlike
are.
this, yeah, and there's no questioning Butler's ability to finish games. So they're just complete contrast teams. They went to, I think, yeah, there was last year too. There was a tough series. The Celtics beat them. So yeah, I don't think I agree. Just the Heater. Yeah. So listen, obviously when you won the first two on the road, you're going to be up and you should win. But to me, this game 3 is, I'll be fascinated. I'm really into it. All right.
Good stuff.
Enjoy the game.
All right. Take it easy.